and away from on to higher things is spelled as C-O-L-L, collaboration and on. That's the way to go. That is a new thing we have to do. And there's no better way to collaborate than to have 80 participants listening and following us here live. And I look forward to your comments. I look forward to interacting with you. Before we go on, I'm just going to take a few comments. And after this, before we welcome our next speaker, I'm going to say, yeah, some people are saying they would rather be a combination. Oh, that's interesting. You said you'd rather be a combination of Margaret Thatcher and Fola Adeola. Okay, that's Irene saying that. I also wanted to go back to some comments we had before she came on board. Sorry, I got a bit carried away and I didn't remember to look at my chat box. Okay, so we talked about emergency digital learning switch, and that's what we're doing. Now, it's actually emergency. So, but now we have to move from the emergency to making that a way of life. We have to move from what is emergency and to make it, if you go to a hospital, there is the emergency, what do they call, the accident and emergency room. You see that patients do not live there. They don't live at that address for long. Even if they are going to admit you, they take you from the emergency ward and then they put you in a regular ward. So it's either we move to that regular ward or we move out of the emergency and we go back home. So where would we rather be? That's what we are talking about in terms of business continuity. Someone said that was wonderful, Miss Amara. Thank you very much. Yeah, we really have to be smart. That's true, that's true. So yeah, online security for the learner, that's what we talked about, yeah. And I also remember that Ifechi talked about getting remote learning for our admin. We've been saying a lot of things about our teachers and about our children. Let's not forget that our schools have a back office. That's the admin. What are we doing with our admin staff? Some of us may be bothered that they are not. We have office assistants, apart from the accountant and so many other people, depending on how your school is structured. What is in store for them and how do they key into the new normal? Yeah, somebody said here that his school or her school went through the ICT safety policy before Zoom learning. Oh, that's really very good. And another person is asking if it's in order to have a Zoom PTA meeting. I've assured her that we'll talk about that later. Okay, without further ado, I would like to move on to our next speaker. Dr. Abimbola Banu-Ogundere. I'm so excited to have her here. And could you just move the screen? And okay, pardon my laughter. I promised us that we were here to learn. So let's learn to laugh as we go on. So Dr. Abimbola Ogundere is our next speaker, and it is she's an awesome educator, as you can see. She's a medical doctor, another person who didn't start as a teacher, Canadian certified Montessori teacher, the CEO of Kids Clark School in Lagos. She has a master's in public health and so on. She has a certificate in women leadership, and she's a leading women in leadership certificate and a leading school certificate. She's the founder of Learning as I Teach Foundation and succeeding at leading a learning community. We'll talk more about these things. She's a founder at Learning as I Teach and also at succeeding at leading a learning community. Twist my tongue a bit. She's a published author of books. I first met Dr. Ogundere on the Learning as I Teach platform. How many of us here are on that platform? You can thumbs up, show it in the comments if you're on the Learning as I Teach platform. It will be interesting to see how many of our followers are here from there. And she also has this beautiful program for teachers, for school owners, succeeding at leading at learning. It's very interesting because through that one, she coaches school owners and she puts them on the path, right path to all these things that we're talking about. She is always willing to teach. I read something about her where she said that she's always ready to teach. Even right from medical school, she was always willing and ready to teach. And it's not a surprise that she's where she is today. I want to welcome Dr. Abimbola Banu-Ogundere because she's here to share with us her experience on how to thrive online, on how to get this thing running. Some of us are aware of the Khan, I think there's a Khan Academy and so many other platforms like that. They were the ones that saw into the future. I have a feeling that Dr. Abimbola also saw into the future. And I also have this sneaky feeling that some of the things we are talking about here today, she already had some of these things in her armory before, and she's only just dishing out now. Well, she won't be proving me wrong. So I'll just like to hand over now, move on to Dr. Abimbola, and let's hear what she has for us. Over to you, Dr. Abimbola. Thank you for this honor. Thank you for being part of our meeting today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I hope someone
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Good afternoon. Fabulous. So it's nice and clear?
Yes, it is.
Is it? All right. Because, you know, with technology, you must keep checking that, you know, you're actually communicating. So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Robin Minds. Fantastic initiative. I'll give everyone a round of applause for that. I mean, I am into collaboration. I think I call it network intelligence, right? So it's how your own individual intelligence, you are sort of raising it by the power of 1,000 when you are part of a great network. So well done to everybody part of Robin Minds. And of course, the participants here, about 80 plus participants, well done as well, because one thing that we must do during the time of change is to learn, right? Because when something new happens to us, it means that it needs more of us. It needs an increased capacity, right? So we need to sort of, you know, enlarge our capacity. So no better way to do that than to learn, to keep learning, to listen to other people's perspectives. I think that's what we're doing today. So to listen to other people's perspectives and then to go back to your own drawing board, like a lot of our speakers have said, and then begin to sort of plug and play. So today I would just share what my own thoughts are, right? I have never taught online. The Kids Code School in Lagos is a building. So like the rest of us, we are all sort of in this together and growing together, as it were, right? So, but I will just share my own thoughts, right, with regards to thriving online. What do I think? What have in the last 2 months, what exactly have I learned? And then we have also been online for about 3 weeks now. What has our experience been, right? So I don't know, can you still hear me?
Yes,
can you all still hear me?
Yes, we
all right,
can.
fantastic.
Yes, we can.
So now,
okay,
thank you. So the very first thing is that we are schools, right? So this is, our sector is school. Now, for any organization, including schools, we always speak about organizational building. And I'm going to deliver this based on organizational building blocks. So whatever organization that we have, there must be some organizational building blocks that must align, right? And it is when they align that we start thinking of success, we start thinking of progress, we start thinking of, you know, surviving and thriving, right? So taking me back to the topic, thriving online. Now, the first one is, then we have critical tasks and interdependencies. Then we have structure and systems, and then we have capabilities, skills, capacities, and attitudes. Now, unfortunately, I do not have, what's this thing called? Slides, because I feel like when you have those slides, you are trying to speak to your slide instead of speaking to, you know, some of those. So that's just me personally. So hardly would you find me teaching with a slide. So please bear with me. So again, I spoke about the 5 organizational building blocks. So number 1 is leadership. Number 2 is culture. Number 3 is critical tasks and interdependencies. Number 4, structure and systems. And number 5, capabilities, skills, capacities, and attitudes of everybody working in the organization. And these are the things that we must put in mind when we are, you know, even as a school. So offline school, physical school, online school, any place that we are operating as an organization, these are the 5 things we must think about. And we must think about them in how well they align in terms of now this has happened. I'm going to rehab the whole story of COVID-19 and all that. All that, we all know it. We don't need to talk about them again. So this is where we are now. The last speaker rightly said that it's either you align with what is happening or you get extinct. You know, it's either you grow or you go into extinction. So I'm sure many of us are looking at our schools as transformational, transgenerational schools. So I know nobody here is planning, you know, for school to go into extinction. I'm sure. So what does it mean? The next thing is that we align. Now, someone else has rightfully said that the truth is when we're going to go back to school, I don't want anybody to make us think otherwise. At least for now, we're going to go back to school. We're going to go back into the brick and the mortar. However, when we get there, things will change. Things have changed, right? And it is now necessary for us to begin to figure out how do we thrive in that changing world? How do we thrive in the changing world, right? So at best, we'll have some level of, oh, wow, you guys are so fantastic. Wow, this is really fast. Well done. Okay, now I feel very bad that I don't have a slide. But I just think that if you follow the gist, you will get it, right? So how do we change? Number one is leadership. You as the leader of a learning community, so a school, a university, blah, 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 you as the leader of a learning community, the first question you're going to ask yourself is, what's the vision of your school? Because you see, the vision of your school remains. And everything that you are going to do must align with the vision of the school. What is the vision that you have or your organization has created for your school? And everything that we're going to do must align that for whatever reason, the best international school in this side of Africa, and now they are asking you to go online. You are saying no. So that means your vision is a lie, right? Because now the context of operation has changed. So if you are going to continue to be the best school on this side of the Niger, then how is it possible that you are not thinking that you should change? You should. So the vision is number one. Number two, part of leadership is assessment. So you must assess. So this online world, number one, what can I do? How great are you as a leader of an online school, an online learning community? The good thing about it is that I think I have about 20 minutes, so I can be as thorough as I want to be. How great are you as a leader of an online community? So that those days of, oh my goodness, I don't necessarily you've been a teacher for 28 years. Right? A great teacher for 28 years, and all, before now you have said to yourself, I don't really know all this technology. What does it mean? The child I taught in 1920, the child, is now the commissioner for education. How, that has changed. That has changed. We are now, we've been pushed by the pandemic into the middle of the technology era. So, if we're trying to take baby steps before, now we have been thrown, when they have a catapult and they throw that catapult of the 21st century and technology age. So if you as a leader, you are not aligning, then of course, there's no way your school is going to thrive, right? Now, the next thing you ask yourself, of course, as a leader is, what's your leadership style now? Because now it is a period of change. There are some leadership styles that are important in the period of change. Number one is instructional leadership, right? So at times when you are changing, it's not just do as I say. You must be do as I do now. So you can't just say, go and do it, go and do it. In the period of change. And of course, we talk about things like transformation. I try not to talk about transformation, but I'm more of instructional leadership and distributive leadership. Before, if you thought that, oh, I'm the only one that can do it, that one-man business. You can do one-man business for 500 years. That your one-man business is not going to work now. Guess what? Nobody is in your control. Everybody is at home. Everybody is at home. How are you going to be able to, You know, maybe what you used to do was you go around the class, let them know that I'm here, let them know that I'm in the school. Now, how are you going to go? Are you going to go into their homes so that they know that you are there? You need to be careful. So your leadership style also must show that we are now in the online environment. You must be supportive. You must be motivating. You must be inspiring. You must check up on people. You must ask for people's opinion. So that one-man business that you were doing is not going to work. You see, it's when we are far away from it. You see, let me tell you, the presence of people can see you. So that you're proud. So maybe when you bath up, when you dress up in the morning and doing booze along your corridor, hey, everybody's shaking, you know, it's not going to happen now. It's not going to work. They're not there. You might be doing a Zoom meeting with your staff and some of them are lying down. How do you ensure that your team is still working? Is still working while you are. So your leadership style, you need to assess your leadership style and it must align. You must align, right? So that's one. The next thing is, what can we do? So as a school, what can we do as a school? Be honest, in the last 5 odd years, this whole technology in education has been there. You've seen some experts coming up, hey. Then you and your students say, no, it's not important. This does not work. Or what nonsense is expected. You're giving all that excuse. And guess what now? Your teachers can't do anything. They can't even take a video. They don't even have to forget video. PowerPoint is, so you need to assess what can your people do. Now the next is, what can your parents do? Because this is context now. So you want to deliver a product to your customers, as it were. What can your parents do? Level are they? What level are your parents? What level are your parents, right? So obviously, you're not going to do one serious Google Classroom with the international big. When your parents, even WhatsApp is a problem for them, right? So how you want to deploy, however you want to exist online is also dependent on your context. And your context includes you. Very important. And then, of course, what can your students do? So you have many schools. So I'll give an example. Like my school, a child that is 5, a child that is in primary 5, primary 4, is already coding. When we started our primary school in 2013, for some reason, and I think maybe that's what Mrs. John was saying, for some reason, I just always thought that even in that our little chocolate tiny space, technology was very important. So I think we started with about maybe 6 computers. We went to 12 computers. You know, it was strange, but it was just important from the beginning. So you have my children very, very savvy. So you have a child in primary 3 going, you know, doing PowerPoint. Years ago, we started Edmodo. So a child that has been in Kids Core School for about 2 years can access it. So the same thing, what can your students do? Is it now that you have not taught your children anything about technology, you now want to, in the next 1 minute, hey, quickly, go on to Google. You need to be careful. So you need, as a leader and your leadership, because I hope that many of us are running the distributive leadership style, where it's not just only one-man business. You guys, let's do this assessment and let us know what it is that we can do going. So that at the end, what you get with that information is choosing your learning management system, right? So what I said to my teachers is, school has now gone online. So where is our school? Where is the address of our school online? That's what an LMA is. What is the address of our school online, right? And then you decide on your learning management system. So I'm sure many of you have done that now. But the reason why I thought to review this is that many of us that are coming back with feedback of, oh, my parents are not doing, my parents are not, it's possible that you are trying to operate at a level that is slightly higher than your parents are used to, or that they can do. So it's not even used to. Some areas, parents are not even, half of them might not even be educated. Half of them might not even be, particularly educated for you to now say, oh, click this, press this. It's www. Hey, they'll say, God, this is not for us. So you have to go back and think about that. I'll go straight on to the next one. So the next one is culture, right? So remember, I'm talking about leadership, culture. Now, again, what worked for us when we were in the school, right, is probably not going to work now, right? So culture is based on values, is based on the accepted behaviors, the artifacts that are allowed in your school, that form the sort of the energy in your school, as it were, the culture of your school. So they are based on values. They are based on values. So right now, values that you need to think about, if you didn't have them already, communication. This is not the time to be edgy. This is not the time to say, oh my goodness, we'll just talk to our teachers once a month, or we'll just talk to the parents once a term because their trouble is too much. This is not the time for that. This is not the time for that. This is, what is happening now is change management. So during the period of change, communication is the most important. So I'll tell you that in my school, every morning for the past 3 weeks, and system, and we pray and we talk and we discuss for about 15 minutes, and then we go left behind. Another thing that, of course, we have that WhatsApp group. What's happening on the WhatsApp group is that, every day we're talking, we're sharing, oh, I like this, communication is important. Teacher to teacher is important. Again, communication with parents. This is not the time, like I said, to say, oh my God, I won't talk to them. My goodness, they are very, very bad. Oh my God, this is not the time. So do you want to do Zoom meeting? Like I said, context. Whatever it is that you decide to do is based on context. So context again. Should we do WhatsApp meeting? Should we do Zoom meeting? Should we do Google Meet, Hangout? All those things, Microsoft Teams. All big, based on your context, you should be meeting with your parents. Another thing is that you must have open, channels of communication. So I'm not going to wait to that Zoom meeting before we have a conversation. Quickly, I need to call a teacher or call a help desk and say, hey, people, help me, So you have to put those things in line. You will need to make it easy for the parents as well to do this transition into this online space, right? Of course, you have to communicate with your students. So do you have general meetings with your students? Well, okay, everybody in Key Stage 2, Year 3 and Year 4, gather together. Everybody in Key Stage 2, Year 5 and 6, gather together. Oh, let me speak to you from my heart. Right? So number one value now that we need more than ever before is communication, consistent communication, consistent two-way communication, right? Clear. You can send emails. Some schools like our school, every Monday morning, we send a newsletter as well. What are we working with? Number two, value, collaboration and teamwork. Everybody has spoken about it. Yes, so someone says effective communication. Exactly. That's why I said, we all know what two-way. I have only 20 minutes, so we all know what all these things are about, right? So collaboration and team work. Teacher to teacher. This is not the time for teacher to think that they can be a hero by themselves. If you know how to use it, you will share it. You must share it. If you know how to use it, you must share it. So at this point as well, like I said, there's that WhatsApp group where everybody's doing back and forth. Then, okay, somebody asked a question. Come and teach us video. Somebody seems to be great with Zoom. Come and teach us Zoom. This is the time. You don't need a superhero now. You do not need a superhero now. You need everybody to be working effectively. Everybody must be working effectively. And it's not, you don't need one great person. Say, oh my God, I'm so great. Oh my God, I'm the star teacher. Star teacher of where? And as somebody said now, I think the first speaker, our buildings, the doors are not speaking for us again. What is speaking for us now are our teachers. So if you did not understand the value of teacher before, You begin to understand the value of teacher now. The teacher, the quality of teacher that you have now, very important. To connect with your parents. Like I said, somebody asked, how do you bring the parents on board? You train them. You train them. You cannot wait for COVID to be over before we continue to learn. We cannot wait for COVID to be over before we continue to learn. So, you tell them why there's a lot of people, you've not even told their parents why. And don't tell them why in this, oh my goodness, type. You use example. So for example, now, this multiplication that we have been doing, imagine if the children don't practice it. School, oh my God, I wish I had more time for this, because now I'm thinking that I'm beginning to talk too much. So the style that you have, that you use to teach multiplication in your school, you sell that to them. So they can't get that style anywhere. They can't get that style on Khan Academy, right? What makes your school, right? With regards to teaching and learning and the social construct within your school. This is the time for you to remind your parents about that. That guess what? Our school is fantastic. Our approaches to learning, fantastic, right? So you sell that to them. So you train them, you empower them, you listen to them. Like I said, open channels of communication. This is not the time to block yourself and block them and say, oh my God, no, they are wicked. It's not about that. It's not about that kind of life. You train them. You can train your parents in on Edmodo. So if you are doing that, we are trying to do parents and model. So dear parents, so when you see, you press like this, you press like this, you click like this, you say, or Google Classroom or Microsoft, whatever it is that you are using. Have you taught your parents? Have you taught your parents? Then of course, listening to them, supporting them, right? And of course, getting feedback from your parents. So what we do in our school is every Friday, we send a formal Google form for feedback. How was it this week? What class is your child? What did learning? What else can we do to be better? Oh my goodness. They're your customers. I am creating a product for them and their family. Become something they cannot understand. They will leave. And they're not necessarily leaving to, you see, let me tell you now, we are fighting against, let me stop talking. I don't want to go do online learning from the beginning to the end. Number two, we are fighting against all the free online platforms. Khan Academy, one thing. Three, we're fighting against lesson teachers, right? Starting job online, and they can be flexible. Do you have time only on Saturday? I will be there for you. Right? In terms of bringing things out, approaches learning, and go, the children need that time to someone talk about Google Zoom parties. Just say, guys, come on at 12 o'clock and we're just going to have fun. The children will like that as well. You need to find a way to motivate them. You need to find a way to keep them engaged, and then develop skills such as self-directed learning, resilience, and of course, within your community, very important is online safety. People have talked about that. Online safety. So what we do in our school is every Sunday, we post a video or something about online, age appropriate, about keeping yourself safe online. Every Sunday, that's how we start our week. Because you don't want, because of your online learning or whatever, your child will not get lost online. Of course, there are so many schools that have their own VLEs that are protected. Kudos to them. But if you don't have that, then obviously, then you have to do that. Another thing to think about is consistency, starting, stopping, consistent quality, right? So many of us will start, hey, they hold down. Consistency is very important. Consistency of quality, consistency of your approach, consistency is very, very important, right? And continuous improvement. So these are the values you should bring into place now. Communication, collaboration, creativity and innovation, community, right? And connectedness, consistency, continuous improvement. Of course, there's that positive, especially with your staff. Hey, you guys, well done. How are you? Everybody is going through all sorts of things. You need to be very, very, and recognize good work. So that recognition as well, it is a value that you hold there. Somebody is doing good work. Well done. Oh my goodness. Well done. Fantastic. Very important. I'm moving to number 3, and I'm going to be quicker. Critical tasks and interdependencies. So this is where the curriculum comes in. Now, please understand that it's not everything that can be taught online. It is not everything, and that's why, I'm assuming that that's why a lot of the government is saying, you know what, maybe we should not call it online. Because imagine here you want to do some kind of science experiment, you want to titrate, you want to dissect, are you going, maybe you're going to dissect a frog, are you then going to say, okay, I'm just saying, speaking my point, my own thoughts, don't quote me this. But I feel that it's not everything that can be done online effectively for now. It's fun that as we are getting bigger and, apps are coming up, some more things will be done online. So what can be done online? What can't be done online? So you need to review your scheme as well. You need to review your scheme and your curriculum to say, okay, how can we get, how do we get the most bulk for the time spent online? You don't want to teach something that the children will do after 5 lessons. Saying, nah, I didn't get it. No, you didn't get that, right? You have to make the most of the time that we have. The question is, how do we continue to remain robust? I think it's a fantastic time to bring up a lot of our future-ready skills like communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, resilience, and many of those things. I think this is a good time to bring a couple of those things, right? Yeah, recorded instructional videos could handle, but when that problem with instruction, when we're doing instruction, should it not then be that instruction would then be what which is the children information? Right now, it's co-constructivism, where the children should be part of the process. So you're watching a dissection of a frog. What has that got to do? How has that helped you? The only time I'm thinking from my medical background, the only time you will learn how to dissect is when you hold those things by yourself and you are looking at it by yourself. How do we achieve that online? But like I said, I'm just putting my thoughts out there. Now, of course, with critical tasks and dependencies, we talked about curriculum, we talked about enriching the curriculum, and making sure we're not wasting time on certain things that cannot be really achieved, leveraging on a lot of things that can be achieved, like I said, the 4 C's and all that. Now, instruction now. So there's curriculum and there's instruction. What are we going to teach? What are we teaching online? Right? And how are we going to teach it? So that's why we're going to talk about content. How are we going to teach it? Are we going to use videos? We're going to use PowerPoint? Are we going to use augmented PowerPoint? Are we going to use games? How are you going to teach it? And I think you need to take the position of student, and then think, I'm a 7-year-old child in my house, and I'm asked to do this. What does it feel like? Right? So many of us are just, hey, content, video, hey, click, 5 games, 6 games, 78 games, do it. We're just throwing those content online. Are we thinking, does this even make sense from a child's perspective? Does it make sense? From a child in a remote teaching atmosphere, for lack of a better word. So this child that doesn't have anybody to say, go continue, all these things we do, all the support we give. You have to think about that. Because what I've seen is that people are just throwing things. 5 quizzes in one lesson, 5 quizzes, PowerPoint of 28 slides PowerPoint, then a 50-minute video. I don't understand. Is the child, well, I'm talking about primary schools. The child in university, even university, I've done many of my courses online. They don't do that. Many of the Harvard courses, when I check online, the videos are 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, right? So we need to be careful what is the content. But you know, we have to deliver the content, we have to assess that learning is taking place, and we have to get feedback. Do you get feedback from your children by saying, how was your week? How did the week go? Are you sending Google Forms to your children and asking them to give you their own perspective? That we did these topics. I will rate your understanding, rate your learning. Which areas do you think we need to do again? Which area do you think that I need to review? How do you think that this learning can be better for you? Because we do those things in the classroom. Those things happen naturally. A child just says, I don't understand. I don't understand. In class, you don't even ask for feedback, they give you feedback. But now, you don't even want to know what the child thinks. You just want to throw that content online, throw it online, or in whatever platform, and then just say, thank God, I'm a great teacher. You are not yet a great teacher. If you are not getting feedback from your children, you are not really a great teacher yet. Right? And then, of course, you reflect on the feedback, and then you use the feedback. Right? So, now there's that dichotomy between synchronous and asynchronous. Always think context, always think flexibility, always think screen time. You have the children just playing at the screen. Then many of them are not there because their parents cannot afford generator to run generator all day. They don't have inverter in their house. Data is something that they are mising slowly but surely, because this data must last them 1 month. Then you are saying automatic, Zoom. You wake up in the morning 8:30, get on Zoom. Then you're on Zoom for 1 hour lesson. Then 10 minutes break. Get on Zoom again, right? It might work in some context. It might not work in others. Are you acknowledging the realities of your student and your parents as a great person that is reality, right? Then, of course, differentiation comes in again. If you're in the classroom, would you not differentiate? How are you differentiating online? Because at times, when the thing is too hard for the child will just say, Mommy, I don't understand. Then the mommy will come there and be trying to explain. No, the mother will say, excuse me, am I a teacher? Am I being paid for this? In fact, I'm not going to pay these people school fees because I'm the one teaching. It's possible that your task can be differentiated. It's possible. They are giving some children something that is so hard or too much, and that's why they're confused. And mother tries to come in, mother says, wow, I'm a teacher. These people don't deserve school fees. So when we're talking about school fees, we need to figure out what is the quality of the product. You don't just tell me to automatically pay. What is the quality of the product that you are selling online? I'm not going to get into the issue of school fees, but I'm just saying that they must pay, don't get me wrong, but we must also, what is the quality of the product? What is the ease of the product? How good, how easy to work through is the product? So we must think about that. Then think it meant to 1,000. So if you have to dance, in your video, so people just say, hey, good morning, children. How are you today? I hope you are there. Well done. And tell you just sleeping like this. So engagement with engagement in your videos, engagement in your activities, think about it to 1,000, right? Raise the power of 1,000. And of course, very important, critical task dependencies. The critical task of a school is learning, right? That's the first thing. I know the first speaker said that there are so many other tasks, but the main reason why a school exists is for learning, right? We might not be learning now, right? For many reasons, but the reason why a school exists is for learning. So are your children learning? If you're able to get them online, are they learning? And how do you make sure they are learning? So you can create checklists, right? Have they submitted this? Look at that. You have to, they also think, of course, within the level of differentiation, you must have thought that there are some children that you might need to look for one-on-one at the back, right? You have to look for them. So you send it like, let me give you an example. My daughter is in primary 5. She's a high achiever for all intents and purposes. And then our teacher says that the quality of work she has been sending in has been poor. So the lady called us and spoke to us and said, I don't understand what's happening. Please try not to be like this. So there are so many things that you can do, right? So flexibility, non-flexibility, I've spoken about that. Now let's go to the fourth one, structure and systems. Structure and systems. So with online learning, there must be structure. You can't allow people to do anything they feel like because they're online. So there's no time. There's no time for you to do anything. There are no deliverables. There is nothing because we are online. Oh no! With online, there's structure. With online, there's structure. And what I mean by structure is, where is school now? We've talked about where school is anywhere your school is, wherever it is inside your school is very important. Okay, so what does, who does what? When do they do them? Who makes sure that these things are done? Accountability. So how are you ensuring that the quality of your videos, who is ensuring that the quality of your videos is top notch? Very important, right? Interplay of academics within the system, the interplay of the academics department, your human resource department, your finance department, and so on, right? How will this run? Do people understand what is said of them? Do you have meetings? So even within now, you should still have your meetings. You still have, so we meet every Thursday morning by 7:15. We do that. We must be running around a structure that still works, right? Who is in charge of ensuring that the production of the content, students' engagement, reposts, appraisals, and feedback, all those things that would typically happen in your school should continue to happen now. With online learning, think uniformity of approach within a flexible learning system. So we that are delivering the online, we must have uniformity of approach. But the system that we are delivering into must be flexible. That's the children and their parents. Dealing with your infrastructure. This is when, if anybody can multitask or do one or two more roles, they can. Because, of course, leaning into the issue of our finances. We're going to be here long term. This is May. I'll be honest with you, we'll be online May, we'll be online June, we'll probably be online in July. So for the next 3 months, if you don't have a structure that is going to take you to that place successfully, consistently, then there's a problem, right? So your finances is not the time for you to be loose with your finances. It's not the time for you to be wasting. Many of us are sending data to our teachers. A couple of us are sending fuel to them. A couple of them still need to pay them at least 50% of their salary. This is not a time for you to waste your money. So which is why your finance people also need to be part of your system. Last but not the least, of course, we've all been waiting for it, is capabilities, skills, capacities, attitudes of your staff, especially your teachers now. If you are going to thrive online, your teachers that will take you there under your leadership. So let me say it again, your teachers will take you there under your leadership or with your leadership, right? So you cannot, and I'm telling you, you cannot teach all the classrooms by yourself. So the same way you could not teach it in the school, the same way you cannot teach it now. You cannot teach all your classrooms by yourself. You need your teachers. If you did not believe in teachers before, this is time to believe in teachers. If you did not love them before, this is time to love them. If you were not listening to them before, this is time to listen to them. If you were not taking care of them before, this is time to take care of them. And that also then shows the importance of teachers. And how, no matter how technology goes, teachers will still be very important. Because there will be somebody behind, right, to push across all this learning. So a child does not understand. Who is going to talk to? He's going to talk to the Khan Academy. Hey, Khan Academy, I don't understand though. Khan Academy, oh, can you answer me? I cannot understand this one. No. Is that what's going to happen? No. So what can we do? What can your teachers do? You train your teachers. You must train your teachers vigorously. And I told people that, it's almost as if for some reason we sort of foresaw this in the keyboard school. From about 2018, 2019, we've been heavy on technology. Heavy on technology. We would do a whole week's training on technology. I went for the BETT, I think for 3 years. You know, the Edmodo people, the flip people, these are people that I have on speed dial. They're heavy on technology. So now it's easy for us to sort of move online. Now, if you've not been doing that, what is your, so don't the thing that because online learning has started now, you will now stop teaching your staff. No. This is the point where twice a week there must be staff training on your EdTech tools you're using. So if you are using Google Classroom, every week you will do another class. We call it revision class. Revision class for Google Classroom. In case there is some parts you did not understand, you understand them again now. You understand? You teach them again. Then of course there are some things that your teachers need now. They need to be motivated. They need to be, they need to be inspired because they too are going through things. Some of them might have even lost somebody because of COVID. I have a staff that lost a mother-in-law, something, or somebody like last week, a fiance's mother last week. So your staff too are going through their lives. This is affecting them as well. It's not only you and your grade school. They are going through issues. So you need to talk to them. So if you have all these motivational speakers, you gather them on, ask them, come and speak to my staff so that they'll be motivated from inside. Right? All these motivational speakers, there are many of them. You can get your people a performance coach. You can get them a performance coach, somebody that they can run to. Hey, I'm frustrated, I'm tired, this life is coming hard. If you don't want to be that person, you can find someone that can run to, so that we're in this for a long haul. At least this pure remote teaching. And with your staff as well, like I said, appraise them. This is not the time for you to be afraid to give feedback to your staff. Auntie, that your H factor. Hey, please let me bring down that video. And then you tell them what to do. You tell them what to do with regards to that, right? So, continuous training to increase the capacity of your teachers to continue to deliver for the long, the long haul, right? Attitudes, when you're talking about your motivational speaker, attitudes come in and stuff like that. Finally, so leadership, culture, critical tasks and interdependencies, structure and systems, capabilities, skills, capacities of your staff are the things that you must consider when you want to thrive anywhere. So online or offline, as an organization, as a school, these are the things you must consider when you want to thrive. Now, going forward, right, when this is over, many things I want us to think about. Number one is that technology, so don't let us be caught unawares again. Many of us were caught sleeping. When it's like the rapture happened and you were sleeping. Many of us were caught sleeping. Do not be, you have to be on top of the trends in education. So you see a trend, and of course you figure out the trend. So when I talk about this, technology in education is not a trend, it's not a fad, it's a real thing. So you must be abreast of what is happening in the education sector. Do not think that the things we did in 1982 is going to work for us in 2020 and 21 going forward. Technology has come to stay. At worst, let me be honest with you, at worst, we are going to end in blended learning. At most, some parents will say, you know what? I would rather have my child at home. If home is cheaper, listen to me, if home is cheaper, because many of us are now able to sort of run it at 50%. If home is cheaper, why can't I just get a nanny, that I trust, and my child can learn from home? You need to be careful. We need to look at it, especially for parents who think that, you know what, I'd rather my child go to a school in Abuja, or my school is in Lagos, so you know what, I can pay for that Abuja school. My child is in Lagos, and this is changing people's minds and approaches to many things, and we must be alert. We don't want someone to move our cheese and we'll not find our cheese again. You're not spend the next couple of years looking for your cheese. Meanwhile, your cheese has been blotted, obliterated, because you were caught, you were napping. And then this woke you up and you refused
Let me unmute myself. Hello. Hello, can we hear her? We can't hear her. Can they hear me?
No.
Can you hear
No,
me?
we can't.
No.
We've lost.
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I think we
Can
lost.
hear you.
Okay, I think we lost Dr. Ogundere. Is she online? Can you check if she's still online?
Yeah,
Hello, are you there?
You know, when it is, if it is 40 minutes already, I think she should be up.
Yeah. Okay, no, it's not. It's an unlimited plan. Hello, can we hear? She's still online. Are you there?
No, she's not. Can't hear her
I
again.
think it's her network. We will continue. But she had a lot to say, and it's evident that she was short her time. But you can see that she was going.
Okay, so I'm back, but I think I'm actually done.
Okay.
I'm back, but I'm done.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we cannot hear you.
Thank you so much. So, as a final note, preparedness is the name of the game. Preparedness. Let us not be caught napping, because we don't know what's going to happen next. These are just taught us that we must be prepared as business owners and school leaders. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If it was a Toastmasters meeting, we would have been hitting tables now. No, you can't see me.
Thank you.
I want you to see me as I am hitting my table and tapping, because that's what I think we should do. That was so profound. There was so much in there. You could see that she kept on, and she had a lot to say. But for time, we would have had that going for the next 1 hour, you see. Thank you so much, Dr. Ogundere. And there are a lot of questions that have come in here, and I really would like to take the questions. But she mentioned something very important about finance, and I think that should just lead us on to the next speaker, because I want us to take this briefly. We want to make sure that we are all in this together. We have 78 participants